today just the two of us. Hi. Hello. Let's get started. Yeah. So Easter holiday is also a very big festival in Western culture, right? Yeah, but this year the Easter seems so quiet. Okay, sorry. Yes. Oh, hi, Bob.
Right.
Happy Easter Day.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You too. I'm fine, thank you. I just hear the clocks ring 7 o'clock. So I was just just in time on a split second moment. How are you? Okay. Uh-huh. Wow, good for you. Yes. Yeah.
Hi, Anna.
Hi, Anna.
Hello.
Hello. Good to see you here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I've been watching you on YouTube, but today I decided to join you live.
Why not join us earlier?
Good. How are you? How are you doing in this weird situation?
Actually, for us, there's nothing really big to change because most time we enjoy peaceful life, and during this very special situation,
Lucky you.
life, isn't changed at all. It's still the same as before. Just that it's much quieter outside. That's it.
Yeah.
And you?
Yeah, for me it's okay, but I had planned some trips to visit my family. They are in Spain. I cannot visit them. They are very worried, so I worry for them. But yeah, as you said, it's a time to be home, and I like that.
So where are you now?
Yeah.
Are you in Spain?
In Amsterdam, I'm
Yeah,
here.
I see. I say, for the recent situation, people are so worried about everything. First, the lifestyle has been totally disrupted, and that
Not to me.
not
No, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. So I mean, for many people, this kind of this disruption is very huge. It's like it's like smoking. When somebody stops smoking for a while, people will go through some tough time, and it's similar. And also,
Yeah. To me, it's like I'm having a sort of calls. I'm just switching off my phone sometimes because everybody, is calling and asking and telling, and very stressful in Spain. Things are very, very bad. They are all confined. They cannot go out. And panic is kicking in. I have some elderly relatives that live alone. The fact that they cannot go out and they feel very scared. You need to somehow try to support them, to call them sometimes. It's that side that worries me most, actually.
absolutely.
The other things is okay. Working from home is brilliant, by the way. It's going to be difficult to go to office.
I think for those people in this room, I think it's perfect to work from home, right?
Yeah.
But
For me,
many
it's perfect. How are you, Bob? So sorry. How are you? I'm kind of centering all the attention. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you, Anna.
You are in Amsterdam as well, yeah?
Yes, I am. This afternoon, I had a Zoom meeting with my family, and they are all doing well. So, well, with my father and two of my brothers. My sister was not there, and I have another brother in the United States, and he was not, for some reason, not invited. But next time he will be.
Okay.
Is
Nice.
your family doing all right, Anna?
I have a cousin that had the virus, but
Yeah.
he's doing well.
Okay.
And then, yeah, the elderly are very worried because for them it's a matter of life or death. You know, they are taking it like that. I'm 80 years old. If I got it, that's it for me. So they are very scared.
Mm-hmm.
But they are okay. So the important thing now is being healthy, and they are healthy. Is what I try to tell them.
Okay. Yeah.
So, shall we start?
2 months ago, so when the virus erupted in China, especially in the city of Wuhan, the whole city was blocked, and since last month, it happened also in Europe. The similar measures in Spain, also in Italy, and also I think here it's a rather tough measures. Yeah. So I noticed that the people have a similar behavior across the continents. Also people in China, also people here. So most people's life has been conformed to the social structure. That's probably a very, very prevalent phenomenon. So their life is totally conditioned on the normal running of the society. And because in the past maybe nearly 100 years, we have never such a so global eruption of the one same disease. Most people have lost the awareness of living consciously. That's why, so when this kind of a virus kicked in, the life habit has been disrupted for many people.
Yeah.
So for us, because for you too, I think you enjoy being quiet. And I guess for this you might not feel this consequence so obviously. But for most people, who subconsciously rely on this kind of social structure, this kind of disruption is very huge. People have to stay in a home. It's more like stay in a prison because most time their life is going out to meet people, to talk to people.
Yeah.
So that can be very painful for some people. And also, when staying at home, they have nothing to do. That's the big issue.
Yeah.
Have nothing to do, and they can easily get bored.
Yeah.
And then at some time, if they feel bored, they read the news, and news are all almost negative during this time.
Totally. Yeah.
And you see, people have nothing to do, and then begin to read news to try to fill in their empty soul, and then the anxiety, worry get in. So that's most people's lifestyle. It's very interesting because people are never prepared for being empty. They can't really stand being alone or having nothing to do, and then they want to try to find doing something. Like I think
this is a brutal way to learn. So I understand them, because it's like the society is driven in a way you always do things and you need to also be with friends and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden you are locked down into your apartment and have nothing to do. So of course they are struggling, but it's a brutal way to learn this empty mindset. But there are a lot of events of online meditations. I think this is great. The community in every place is organizing events, and there are a lot of things to be done and to connect with friends and with people, like Zoom meeting or whatever. They are all over the place. So you can be very busy at home as well if you want to be. Actually, my work is crazily busy actually.
Still,
So you'd never know. Yeah. Everybody's working from home, but everybody's checking on the others, and everybody. This is like the work we need to do, plus this extra layer of worry. Everybody's calling and checking and panicking, and so yeah.
And then we can also notice that after 2 or 3 weeks, people begin to get used to it.
Yeah.
And the longer this virus lasts, the more people will get used to this lifestyle. And then when the virus stops, people will return back to the old way of living. It can be a new disruption. If the virus lasts long enough. During the first 1 or 2 weeks, people feel very bored, annoyed, and but just in 1 or 2 weeks, more people begin to use Zoom to connect people, and because for many people it's choiceless, because staying at home without any social activities, it can be a pain. And also, we also noticed that for this event, during the first 1 week, nobody joined. Nobody joined. Seriously, only after 2 weeks, and people began to appear more and more. I mean, why watching YouTube or whatever? Because at the first week, people feel that's my guess, is that people need to get used to this new way of communicating. At the same time, they need to calm down and relax from this kind of disruption. So I think people learn the hard way, and nothing is really permanent. So virus can be very terrible for people's health, but sometimes if we can re-pick up the consciousness from this situation, maybe it's not too bad. I don't know. Life is like this. As humans, we have too many emotions, but for the virus, they have no emotion at all. They just work, spread from one person to another.
Yeah.
And what we do is just worrying, anxious, fear. And even we can try to protect ourselves in a way, but we still react to the thoughts of the virus, not the virus itself. Because our fear from thoughts, and only when we are thinking about that situation, like when we read the people the number of the deaths or the number of new patients, and when we when we react to the thoughts, we begin to associate, ruminate, then all kinds of negativities just come in. So it's hard. It's hard for many people, because most people live in life, just deriving pleasure from all kinds of things, and rarely talk about life and death. death is a very morbid topic for most people, right? And when they, just when this virus, erupt, and there is very high rate of death, just give people anxiety because everybody feel uncertain about their life. That very uncertainty is only a form of fear. Fear towards the idea of dying. Again, it's still the idea of dying. Because when the true death really comes, it's beyond our control. But before it arrives, people just react to the idea of dying. And the challenge is that they couldn't really differentiate whether it is a fact or it's a thought when we are dominated by thoughts. So in the past few weeks, I have been thinking about the modern way of life we are having now. It's heavily relying on thoughts, all kinds of things, and thoughts has been part of our life in many subtle ways. Without intelligence, without attention, without our focus, reflection, it's difficult to really demarcate life and thoughts. So I'll give an example. Recently, because Joyce and I have been working on some Chinese content about meditation, and so because when we try to publish this content on the platforms, we need to sign a form of copyright to claim that this is our copyright. But when we really examine this concept, we find it's really ridiculous. For example, so when I finished a meditation audio guide, when it's finished, it's already ultimate already. Can I say I have it? Or can I say it belongs to me? If I say it belongs to me, it's my copyright. It's only a thought, right? We use a thought to associate that with me. But actually, when I finish it, it's gone. Maybe 100 years ago, there's no any equipment to record audios. But now we have this kind of instrument stuff to record the audios. And then we have a file. We have this kind of MP3 file to store the audio. To store something, we should let it go, actually, in the past life. We had a video. We also record the videos. Also, for this session, we also record it. It's not to agree or disagree with this kind of stuff, but we need to notice that this modern life has a lot of challenges because of thoughts. Because we have created the copyright. That we use a thought to associate something I have done with me. At the same time, if I take that seriously, it just triggers my ego. I need to defend the copyright. It's my thing. At the same time, that's most people are doing, right? They defend their copyright, the possession. So when people are doing that, unless they give full attention on this issue, they won't realize this is thoughts. We are living in thoughts. So I think this is something we really need to reflect, because there are so many other life situations similar to this. Subconsciously, the society probably is running mostly on thoughts. We define all kinds of concepts, ownership, even partnership, relationship. The hierarchy. Even this kind of respectability. It is so subtle, but it is all based on thoughts. When people really get stuck in the possession, they are afraid to lose. They are anxious to get. Here, the possession or ownership is a part of the game in the society. The thing for us is not to not have it or to have it, but just if we live in life in this way, we just follow the rule, no problem. But should we take that seriously or not? Because if we take that seriously, we will be trapped by that thought, that pattern of thought. So for the audio guide, I just signed, okay, that's my copyright. But if somebody else really copy it, I'm very happy to spread it. Because this is not my thing. Because the only thing I have is only this moment. Anything has passed. It's when I say it's mine, it's only a thought. I think this concept is also mentioned many times in the Buddhism and in Taoism. And this kind of possession or ownership, any kind of social relationships we define is an illusion. Means that when we really examine it, empty, really empty. So no wonder, people nowadays have so many negativities, because the society is running based on thoughts. Everybody is easily into thoughts. Thoughts breed fear. Thoughts breed uncertainty. Thoughts also give people pleasure. That's the whole, in my opinion, because and also I feel that that's the whole picture of the global society. And because these thoughts, different society have different thoughts as the foundation, and thoughts divide people. People rely on thoughts for certainty. People rely on thoughts for pleasure. People rely on thoughts for position, prestige. People rely on thoughts for fame. So I think for us to live peacefully and consciously, we need to realize and deeply feel the issues of the mental structure of the society. When we really, stuck in that structure, we lose the freedom to be creative, the freedom to be free. That kind of mental structure can't really define what is right or wrong. Of course, they have their definition of what is right or wrong. But we need to realize, we also need to feel that, when people really get stuck in this kind of mental structure, all kinds of mental conflicts, the bitter argument, all kinds of mental challenges due to this anti-natural setup. Recently, I also invested a lot of time in reading the writing of the Krishnamurti. I think it's nearly 100 years ago, not years ago, I think, and he disbanded that kind of group in Amsterdam. So now, almost 90 years has passed already. When I read his book in 1960s, 70s, what he wrote 100% applies to today's situation. I can't really find something really outdated. Everything what he described still applies to today's life. And sometimes I feel, oh yeah, it's really a satire that, we have said that we have made a lot of progress in society, but at the same time, psychologically, for most people, they stay put. So let's come back to meditation. I think today we have talked about a lot about this society, the social issues. Maybe it can be a little heavy going. But I think for each of us, meditation is life, to live a life with our pure consciousness and sharp reflection of the whole society, the whole world. So, in the next 10 minutes, let's meditate, shall we? I will play the audio guide. We can just follow the audio guide to meditate and come back for the second part of the discussion. Yeah. Now, let's take a 10-minute meditation. Start by taking a moment to find a comfortable position to sit in a posture that you feel relaxed and get alert. Let hands rest on your knees or laps. Let the eyes close gently. Soften your forehead. Act a soft smile in the corner of your lips. Breathe naturally. As you breathe in, be aware that you are breathing in. Feel the sensation of breathing in. The region can be the nostrils, can be the belly, can be anywhere. Focus on the part you feel most. As you breathe out, be aware that you are breathing out. Feel the sensation of breathing out. The region can be the nostrils, can be the belly, can be anywhere. Focus on the part you feel most. Fix your attention on the breath. Let go of any thought, words, images. This moment, nothing is more important than breath. Every time you hear the bell, check where your attention is. If it wasn't on the breath, gently invite your attention back to the breath and sustain your attention on the breath. Slowly bring your awareness back to this room. Feel into your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes. When you are ready, open your eyes. Now, how does everybody feel now?
Good. I'm trying to feel relaxed, and as well as very focused.
I like to meditate in my own home, but with you guys. So that was kind of a very nice feeling for me. Being with you, but also in the comfort of my own cushions and in my own environment.
That's perfect.
It was very relaxing for me.
Very concise comment. We are living in a life full of all kinds of influences from people around us, from the society, from work, from school. This sort of influence is unavoidable because we are human, we are animals. The brain is always reacting to the outside environment. And we really can't control the influence directly. Even what I'm speaking now maybe have an influence on you in one way or another. Maybe it's a good influence, maybe it's not, I don't know. Theoretically speaking. But the influence is there. It's very subtle. But I think for most people, meditation is a good way to isolate ourselves from the outside world for a moment. When really turn inward to examine the mind, to just focus on the sensation. When we really jump out of the thoughts, the links of all kinds of thoughts, the web of all kinds of ideas, that very influence is receding. I think most people can feel that after a very good sleep, people feel very refreshed in the morning. And also just because we have been away from the thoughts for a while. But sometimes if you have a very terrible dream, a nightmare, maybe in the morning you might have a different feeling. But I mean, for a decent sleep. So the way we meditate is also to give us an environment or atmosphere where we stand back from thoughts consciously. When we are influenced, we can also appear to be peaceful and calm. But when people are fully conditioned on some lifestyle, when they have no very big issues, they can still, exhume some extent of calm, which is of course very vulnerable. But the thing is that if people can still live in that way peacefully, I won't interfere at all. But the problem is that people simply can't. There are so many self-inflicted issues. Purely come from the self. We hope that they can live peacefully, but it's very difficult when the self is running there. And all kinds of influences only triggers all kinds of mental conflicts. So for people for people maybe like we are very curious and very serious about the life, we meditate. But for most people, if they don't have this kind of a seriousness about life, I think they also need to meditate. Just give their mind a break from all kinds of influences. In the past, maybe not. I mean, nowadays or in the past, I don't know. So if people have no any faith or religion or whatever, their lifestyle is pure consequence of the influences and habits. This is another way to say that people are fully conditioned on the society, right? Even for us, we are also humans. We are still influenced by all kinds of things. Even for your whole day's work, or when you spend a few hours talking to other people, that influence can stay for a while. Sometimes if we talk to a person who is not very easy to talk to, we may find something very annoying which might stay with us for a few hours, maybe even a few days, subconsciously, who knows? Sometimes, so if we say something is a healing, probably it's something can really free people from the influences, and we call it maybe it's called healing. What is really sad is that, and for most people, they can't really to feel the influences. They can only feel the symptoms, being anxious, worried, or whatever. But they can't really pick up the influences which requires a very subtle mind to notice the influence. And surprisingly, the influence is very individual. for some, and one of the big problem, nowadays, that not nowadays, it's for the all human history, that we are always use words. We are always verbalizing the communication. That very structure of communicating give a very open space for influencing. We have the words, and at the same time, we are enslaved to words. Look at our life. How many influences are done through words? Even what I'm doing now, probably I also influencing you guys in one or another. I hope not, but it's not impossible to not. Without realizing these influences, it is difficult to look inward. Or the other way around. So to be away from influences, it's not to cut off the communication with the people, with the society. It's not to cut this connection. But we need to be very aware of that. Means we need to be fully conscious of all kinds of influences. Still, the same, the awareness. And to notice this influence in one another, there's no way. I can't tell people how to be fully aware of the awareness. There's no common path, but there must be an individual path. The ways to understand deeply of the foundations of the society, the thoughts of the mind, the mental structure, the way to use languages, the way to communicate. This deep understanding will help us to reveal the truth. And with that understanding, we could have the awareness deeply of the influence we are receiving. So it is also part of the meditation. I mean, when people can really able to walk out the influences, there's an independence from a different dimension. That maybe I can call it solitude. The solitude can be, cultivated via meditation to give people the space to reflect, notice, counteract the improper influences. and exert the proper ones. And for us, I think, doing meditation and spread it is to influence people positively, properly. I think we think. But it's up to them to change. We can only continue spreading it. But it's really up to them to receive the message and take mental actions by themselves. Nobody else can help. Any comments up to now? Please don't just smile. Talk. Oh.
I don't know what to say. You are so right. It's so simple and so in your... Yeah, it's so clear when you explain it, but it's not so easy when we go through our lives, you know? So it's shocking. It's shocking for me now.
Shocking.
Yeah, because it's clear, neat, simple. But I'm part of these people who goes around with inferences and react to them. I would lie if I would say otherwise.
From the perspective of the Zen meditation, we see that there are 3 points. One is to awaken ourselves. Then is to awaken others. Then third is the true harmony comes. Is when we really awaken ourselves, we have no internal mental conflicts. So internally, mentally, we are really peace and calm because we have resolved all the inner side mental conflicts. But this resolution is not to make these conflicts disappear, but to convert the inner conflicts to the outside one. It means that we have no conflicts within, but we have the conflicts with the society.
Sorry, Cico, I don't understand what you're now saying. Can you repeat, please?
Sure. So, why, when we awaken ourselves, actually we solve all the inner conflicts within one person. That's the key to be truly peace and calm. But at the same time, we create new conflicts between us and the society, the whole setup of the society. So we can say it's kind of a conversion. Convert the inner conflicts to the outside ones. Compared to the inner conflicts, definitely it is much better to have the outer ones than the inside, because you don't feel conflicted, you don't feel painful. But still, the conflict is still there. It's the person and the society. That's why. But what is society? Society is the relationship between people, right? Without people, there's no society. So that's why we need to awaken others. So awaken others.
Sorry, Cico, does it mean that if you are awakened yourself, you might get into trouble with society, meaning that that you'll be in conflict with individual people who adhere to the norms of society?
Yes, you can say that. Maybe it might not be a very big trouble. I mean, the conflict means the values, the fundamental values, that kind of conflicts. So that's why we went to the second part, to awaken others. So that's why we can influence people positively. It's up to them to change. But if they want to change it, and if they can really awaken to the world, then if everybody is awakened, that
I
kind of
struggle, but I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. My biggest conflict with that is like when I try to pass this sort of peace and approach to life to others, and then they don't reflect back to me, my inner peace got totally messed up. So it's like this thing of trying to pass a message, or just I feel more like that mirror. It's like, why are you just coming back to this argument we already have 1,000 times, and I thought we already solved, for example, no? So this inner and outer words, to me, I still didn't manage to separate them. Sometimes I just a reflection, my anxiety is just a reflection of what things look around me. And I don't know how to address that.
Probably you need to find a better approach. When I mentioned the inner world and outside world, it's not a demarcation. It's still the same. But we can look at in that perspective. When really spread this kind of message to other people. For example, when I did that, sometimes people want to argue. So I always tell them beforehand that. So I share this message with you. Please don't agree or disagree with me. You observed by yourselves. Because when I can't really handle this properly, definitely my inner peace can be disturbed by the argument triggered by this situation. Because I tell people, you observe it. Please don't argue with me, because what I tell you is only by verse. You must misunderstand it in one another. There's no point in agreeing or disagreeing. If you observe it, you get it. So that's why this is the way I just show an example to avoid this kind of a direct conflict, because as you said, our inner peace can be disturbed by this way.
I don't understand why you could be innerly disturbed by the reaction if you tell that story, because you don't have inner conflicts anymore. And so it means if someone argues with you, that he or she doesn't follow what you say, and apparently maybe you need to clarify or repeat, or otherwise say, okay, I have nothing to add anymore.
It's really depend on the extent of the arguing. No matter how hard I can prepare for any kind of argument, I never know what kind of situation will happen. Because when people are arguing, it's easy for people to be in a state of anger, contention. And sometimes, it's really beyond control. So I have to be mindful at that moment to not be dragged into that state. But I can't guarantee. We say we can awaken ourselves, but it doesn't mean that we can be perfect, because we are still,
But doesn't that mean that you are not enlightened yet?
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe forever not. because I need to accept my situation at this moment. So I don't know, maybe being fully enlightened, maybe it's only a concept or not. I don't know. So maybe we can be nearer and nearer, but when we really, people are still animals. I mean, so our mind, our neurons can be easily triggered by things. And I don't know whether these called enlightened beings can really survive when they really in an argument with other people, because they also try to avoid it, to not that happen. So I don't know, to be honest.
Being enlightened isn't a certainty. It's not a certainty. I mean, you cannot predict the next moment how you will react.
Yes. That's my point. It's very, very difficult. We can change the mind, of course, but it's still the new situations arises, and we have to be alert at each moment, because we are just animals. And if we are enlightened, we are animals still, but probably being enlightened is only a concept. It's called the Buddha. I forget the name. That the people in the Buddhism, that people decide to not to be enlightened, to save people. I know.
Bodhisattva?
Yeah, Bodhisattva. Yeah. So in my opinion, it probably it's a concept. It's concept. Life is always throwing at us. So I think for us, being enlightened or not doesn't matter. But if we are really being living consciously, to notice how life going, to deeply understand the things around us, there will be a change for each of us.
So you never get frustrated about things ever? Like, I don't know, in life situations with other people, or at work, or with family, or whatever? Never upset, never frustrated? That is impressive to me.
To be honest, sometimes I was, but when I calm down by meditating, I realized that, oh yeah, I was reacting to thoughts again. So by this kind of a reflection and awareness, this stuff happens less and less. But I won't say it will never happen, because I don't believe it will never happen. But it indeed happens less when I notice that, oh yeah, I'm reacting to thoughts. So when all like a situation from the families or from the work, from whatever, when I begin to feel frustrated, it's only because I react to the words, to react to the thoughts. So that kind of awareness really reduce a lot this kind of situations.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
So that's why, from my from the practice, this kind of the workshop we have done in the past 1 year or 2 years, I found that I also learned a lot is to how to spread the messages to other people. I think the best way is to tell people to observe themselves. I can give you some clues, but you need to observe it by yourselves. Don't argue with me, to avoid the situation that people begin to argue. And then if people are arguing, it's just beyond the control sometimes. So if really more and more people at least around us, awakens. There's a harmony. Like, I just give an example here. Just like we have this kind of a discussion. There's a harmony. Because we have the similar intensity in understanding this situation. And we have similar seriousness in thinking about that. So that's also the philosophical setup of this kind of spreading message of mindfulness to more people. Do what I do what we do. Whether people can receive it or not, it's up to them. I can't really please them because there are so many things, so many other things can please them. All kinds of entertainment programs, all kinds of TV or movies. What we can do is just spread the message. Maybe it can shock you, maybe not. But it's up to you, the audience, to receive the message and to take actions.
But Cico, avoiding conflict, maybe it's a good thing, but wouldn't it also be a way of mindfulness to see what happens?
Of course. It's very limited to use verse. To avoid conflicts means to avoid these unnecessary conflicts that can deprive me of the peace and calm. If I lose peace, calm, those things will really be under control, right? So, but sometimes, of course, we need to confront the situation to see what will happen. So it's kind of a combination of this intelligence and reasoning. Sometimes we need to avoid the really, really unnecessary conflicts to let people stay in peace and calm. Sometimes we also need to face the unknown and just confront it. But when they speak out, it's difficult to make it very concrete. It's sometimes misleading because when I say avoid, and the people will understand in a different way. So this the challenge of this kind of stuff is the influence other people and also be aware of this unwholesome influence from other people. I think today we have talked a lot about this topic. Maybe it's not too serious for everybody. Anything to say, Joyce?
I think it's not very heavy. I just do some self-reflection by your words. When I'm listening, and I'm also doing some self-reflection. And for example, about the influence. So so every day we publish content about meditation and mindfulness online. So most in Chinese, and so every time I remind myself being egoless, no ego, just to add some peace and to pass on some peace and calm, so to the world. So because when you publish some content, there would be some personal benefits involved. It's so easily to trigger a person's ego stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I have been thinking about in the past half an hour about influence and egoless. That's all.
So maybe shall we have another meditation to end today's session? I can play the audio guide again, so Anna can stay at home to enjoy your environment with the audio guide.
Great, yeah.
Also, Bob, in your room, enjoy the vibes around you, and
sorry, should I show it to you?
why not?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was about to do that. It's not.
It's cloudy outside now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. And it's
Microphone. Bob, can you say it again? Yeah, the microphone. Yes.
Yeah.
Bob.
It's also getting dark here, so
Yes.
I need to turn on some light.
Me too here. Always had light here. Okay, shall we start the meditation and then we can come back again to say goodbye to each other after the meditation session, shall we? Okay. Now, let's take a 10-minute meditation. Start by taking a moment to find a comfortable position to sit in a posture that you feel relaxed and get alert. Let hands rest on your knees or laps. Let the eyes close gently. Soften your forehead. Act a soft smile in the corner of your lips. Breathe naturally. As you breathe in, be aware that you are breathing in. Feel the sensation of breathing in. The region can be the nostrils, can be the belly, can be anywhere. Focus on the part you feel most. As you breathe out, be aware that you are breathing out. Feel the sensation of breathing out. The region can be the nostrils, can be the belly, can be anywhere. Focus on the part you feel most. Fix your attention on the breath. Let go of any thought, words, images. This moment, nothing is more important than breath. Every time you hear the bell, check where your attention is. If it wasn't on the breath, gently invite your attention back to the breath and sustain your attention on the breath. slowly bring your awareness back to this room. Feel into your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes. When you are ready, open your eyes. Great. I hope everybody calm down again after about nearly 1 hour and a half discussion and meditating. So I hope everybody has a peaceful evening and a wonderful week. And also thank people from the YouTube who are watching this discussion from YouTube. And thank you for being here to spend the past 1.5 hours.
Thank you so much to you. It was really useful as always.
Oh, thank you, Anna.
This session with you. I'm really, really grateful. Thank you.
I'm also very grateful for everybody for your
Thank
support.
you.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Thank you. I thank you for being Anna.
So that's it. So hopefully see you guys in the future sessions and stay safe. Stay peace.
Yeah. Same to you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you. See you next time.
See you next time.
See you,
Yeah.
Bob. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Grace.